Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cat Chat Show. My name is David Lee Stanton, your host, and please help me make welcome the other host, Carole Baskin, all the way from Tampa, Florida. There she is, as beautiful as can be.
And we also have a guest, Robert Christian, in the chat room here that appears to be live on our on our hangout.
Oh, great. Did he make it in? That's good. That's good. Hey, Brian, illustrious Brian, could you angle one of the speakers towards me so I can hear them? I didn't arrange that. Yeah, go ahead and say something, Carole Baskin.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, matter of fact, you can actually turn her up a little bit. I don't think I'm getting any echo. Or I think you want to turn it up via the amp. You know, under the speakers there. Silly boy. Tricks are for kids. Okay. Anyways, welcome to Cat Chat. We have Carole Baskin. She is the CEO of Big Cat Rescue Sanctuary down there in Tampa, Florida, which is a big, fabulous sanctuary. In case anybody don't know, I'm catching Robert Christian up here. Robert, how are you doing today? Can you hear us? I don't know if we can hear him. We can see him, but we can't hear him. And we can hear you, Carole, right?
I think so. I'm typing a note right now to Robert to see if he can hear us.
Okay, well, we know our audio is okay. We know Carole's is okay. What's up, Robert? Anyways, well, while Robert, that's hard to say, while Robert is getting his audio ready, we'll go ahead and start the show. Anyways, in case you're tuning in for the very first time, the Cat Chat Show is primarily a show about large cats. And when we say large cats, we don't necessarily mean your house cats. We mean tigers and lions and bobcats and servals. If it's like a big cat, well, anyways, down there at Big Cat Rescue, Carole Baskin and her team of people, they rescue a lot of these animals and provide them with a sanctuary. And Big Cat Rescue is the largest accredited would you say it's the largest accredited sanctuary or facility?
We're the largest accredited sanctuary that's dedicated entirely to exotic cats. There are other accredited sanctuaries that are much larger than us, but they have like farmed animals or they have horses or things like that.
Right. And you're just exclusively cats?
Just cats. We have 5 animals here who are not cats, but they're pretty cat-like.
Well, okay, you're one of them. Who are the other 4?
Everybody says I'm the most dangerous creature here.
She got cat eyes. Like big cat eyes. Okay, well, what other animals you have there?
Or I even have these cat eyes. The other animals who live here that are not cats are civets and genets, which are kind of cat-like, and binturongs.
Right. Now, also in case you are wondering about Big Cat Rescue, you can go there and you can visit. It is open to the public. There's a small nominal fee to go through because cats got to eat. And believe me, it's a bargain. Like, you actually, I'll be honest with you, I think you underpay when you go in there because it is really, it's very large. And, if you're like me and you go to zoos and stuff like that, sometimes you see all the animals, whatever, and it frustrates you a little bit inside. Maybe they're not being taken care of totally properly, or else their cage is clean but they're on concrete, or else everything is manicured. It looks like not even a garden, but it looks like like pre-made rocks and stuff like that, which is okay, but sometimes it's almost too manicured. However, if you go to Big Cat Rescue, it is the only place I have ever walked through and have never felt bad for any of the animals in there.
Well, that's nice of you to say.
Well, it's true. And I'm like, and I would tell you if I thought at all. But I really, and I look for those sort of things, and I just felt no stress coming from the animals themselves.
We work really hard to make it as it can possibly be if they have to live in a cage. It's interesting you should mention what you did about the price, though, because today at our staff meeting, one of the issues that we're running up against is that we're seeing record numbers of visitors. I mean, in the summer, which is our slow period,
right,
we're seeing as many people as we see during our crush holiday seasons in the winter. And so the only way that we can deal with that problem is to continue to raise the price so that not as many people come, which is a strange problem for a venue to have, to say we can't deal with any more people, so we have to make it more expensive.
Right. Wow. I wish I had that problem. Well, you know, it's so funny because you're like in the winter. Well, first of all, how great is Florida? Seriously, I was down there in winter. They treated me to a week down there in Florida. And it is so nice in Florida. Carole and I went kayaking looking for manatees in winter. Right.
Yeah, it was beautiful. You got a sunburn even.
I was like, yeah, and I believe I got sunburned so bad I got like blisters. I got blister sunburned. And I love Florida, man. And I love Pittsburgh tremendously, but if I ever had to pick another place to live, it would definitely be Florida. It's a nice place down there, man. Ooh. Well,
although it seems like it's been raining every day since April.
I would love that.
Crazy how much rain we've had this year.
That wouldn't bother me one little bit. I celebrate the rain because in rain there's life. Now, speaking of cages, things like that. For some of you might be tuning in as well. Big Cat Rescue is currently building a large area for her animals to be in called vacation rotation. And what that is this big, large area that's so big that an animal would actually get tired before it reached the other end if it was walking. It doesn't have, now, down there, the enclosures, some of them have fencing over the cage. You got to have that. It's like the law or something. Okay, but
we want to keep the cats in the cage.
Yeah, but the vacation rotation doesn't have that. They have a different way kind of around the cages, but there's no, actually with a thing that big, there's no way to really cover it necessarily. So, but the advantage of that is that the animals, especially the ones that have had a crappy life in zoos before they were rescued or, in cages and stuff like that. And a lot of them has never been able to see the stars without a cage like a filter almost. Without the filter of a cage in their vision, some have never seen that. Or if they have, it's only been for a glimpsing moment. It's never been where they just walked and got tired and just was looking. So Carole Baskin is offering her cats this opportunity. And it's kind of on a time crunch a little bit because there's some elderly animals, I guess you call them, that she would like to get in there before they pass away, unfortunately. And there's a cat, the biggest tiger in the world? Or something?
Oldest tiger.
The oldest tiger in the world, Flavio, right?
Flavio, yeah. He's 24 years old.
Right. Now,
and we really want him to be able to experience that ability to, watch the sun go overhead, watch the stars come out at night without having to look through cage wire to do it.
I really hope you film that. However, in like a Disney film or something like that, right? Unfortunately, he would go out there, and that's probably when that probably would be the end. You know what I mean? Like this last thing was achieved or something. Hopefully, he'll go on. Hopefully, he'll go on much longer. But I hope you film that from afar.
We will. And up on the screen right now, I have a overhead view of the sanctuary and the lakes, and the size of this 2.5 acre enclosure is in yellow.
Yeah.
And it also shows this drawbridge idea that we had for moving the tigers from their current cages out to this new vacation rotation area. We are set to do the ribbon cutting on this cage on Tuesday, July 30th at 9 a.m. and we've invited the media out to come film it. And for the actual ribbon cutting, we're going to let Bengali, the tiger, out into this enclosure. He's only 18 or 19. He's not as old as Flavio. But for the purpose of the media, they're going to want to see a cat come running down that tunnel and race out into this big open area and have a great time. And Bengali is still agile enough to be able to do that. So he'll be the one for the ribbon cutting, and then he'll get a few days out there before we take Flavio over there and let him have access to it. We're afraid if we do that with the media, Flavio's going to make it, if he makes it it may take him all day to get through the tunnel to get down there for one. And if he gets out to that big cage, we don't want him to just fall asleep as soon as he gets there.
Right. Hey, Robert Christian, did you get your audio fixed? No. Well, maybe you should restart Google. Look, he's disappeared.
All I see is a chair.
Maybe he's got in his car and he's running over here. Robert Christian is another fellow broadcaster. He does broadcasting on live stream, but he said he's been in it for 20 years or something like that. So I think we might join forces with him or something. That's
nice.
Who knows? All right, let's get on to our notes of the day. Well, anyways, who is this? It looks like Kabasi goes outside, but what's that name?
Khaleesi. Do you ever watch Game of Thrones?
Kabasi. Good old Kabasi. Okay, so what is it again? Khaleesi.
Khaleesi.
Okay. So
Khaleesi is one of the characters in Game of Thrones, and she's known as the mother of dragons. And so this little baby bobcat that's in rehab, we decided to name her Khaleesi because she's pretty ferocious, as you can see by the picture that's up on the screen.
And that's a picture from your sanctuary, right?
Yes.
When you walk through that sanctuary, it's not like, I'm telling you, it's not like a zoo or whatever. It's like a jungle. It's like jungle-ish. Like you walk through, there's trees, it's green, it's like you could smell the earth and stuff like that. It's fantastic. Yeah, it is. And it does look like that right there. That's what I call it. Well, now that's not the bobcat. Or how long have you had this bobcat?
She's been here for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
She was orphaned apparently and ended up being sent to a rehab center who said they couldn't deal with her, so they sent her to another rehab center who said they couldn't deal with her, who sent her to us. And we're kind of known in the state of Florida as the rehab center for bobcats because most places just will try to rehab them in a cage and then turn them loose, whereas our cages are, like you said, very natural. She will actually be able to learn how to hunt in here. Right now, she's learning to hide from people, and so since she just got throwing her face up and hissing at us.
I'm curious, what like these other places that could not take care of her because she's just so uncontrollable. Well, I thought that was traits that you want to look for. So what were they expecting?
I don't know what they were expecting, but Khaleesi gave them a whole lot more of it than what they were expecting because she is a bobcat through and through. She is just wild. I
mean, were they wanting her to were they taking it personally that she was hissing at them or something? I'm sure you're in the same boat that you want a cat that's all listen, doesn't want anything to do with humans, all cat-like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. That will give her the best success chances if she stays away from people.
A bobcat isn't supposed to... You're not supposed to have no pet bobcat. Anybody? Oh, well. Well, that's good. At least, like I said, I'm glad that now, and you want to, is this the one you want, because I know the baby one you want to rehab. So, Khaleesi, are you planning on rehabbing as well for the wild?
Yes, Khaleesi will go back to the wild. She's been in our cat hospital because when she first got here, she was teeny tiny. And she had to get her first shot so that she would be protected in case a feral cat were to come and be breathing on her. Stuff like that. We want to make sure she had her shots and that she was all up to date. And then just yesterday, we took her out to the big rehab enclosure, which is about, I don't know, maybe about 1,800, 2,000 square feet. So it's bigger than most people's homes. And in this top picture here, you can see that they've taken her in this little squeeze cage here. I don't know if you can see my mouse on the screen. The squeeze cage is what we
Yes.
caught her in, and then it has a door that you lift up, and she'll run out into this area here.
Did you say it's 1,800 square feet?
Yes, it's between 1,800 and 2,000 square feet.
Wow, that's a huge. My studio here is 1,800 square feet, and I have a large sprawling studio. Right, so
imagine if you had trees and bushes and rats running loose in there. That would be the kind of habitat for Khaleesi.
yeah. Oh wow, that's a good space. All right. Hey,
So you
that's
can see our videographer, Chris, here. He's videotaping all of this. So you want to be sure and subscribe to our videos over at bigcattv.com so that as soon as that video is released, you'll be able to see her actually take off and run.
oh, see, that's their video guy right there. See him?
And
Nice
that's Chris.
guy.
And this person is Gail. She's our operations manager. And this is my daughter, Jamie, who was on the show a couple weeks ago. And she does all of our rehab work.
And all three are really great people. I'm telling you, I've met all three. Wow. All right.
One of the things that we do to teach the kitten how to catch her own food, you can kind of see a carrier right here on the right-hand side part of the screen, and a tube. And so what we'll do is we'll drop the rat down the tube, and Khaleesi can jump inside this carrier, but the rat can't scramble up the sides and get out. And so that'll give her the ability to catch the rat and learn how to kill the rat effectively. And before, later on, these other pipes that you see out here, we'll put the rats in way back far away so she can't see us do it.
Right.
And can come out of those pipes anywhere in the cage anytime. So she has to always be on the lookout for the rat. And that teaches her what she needs to know about hunting, which is you always have to be looking for that opportunity to catch your dinner.
Right. And once you catch it, you got to know how to kill it.
Yes.
And
Before it scares you.
I'm sure that there's some people watching being like, clutching their pearls. What? You give them live rats? Well, yeah, so does your neighbor who also has a python and snake, and they sell them at the pet store. Does that make it right? I don't know. Who knows? But I do know this. In certain situations, it probably is okay, because when you're trying to rehab a bobcat to go back into the forest, okay, this bobcat has to know how to do this, and the reason why that's important is because if this bobcat wasn't doing that in the forest, rats would get rabies, they would overpopulate, they would get sick, they would cause other animals to be sick, they would cause harm to the very forest and the animals around it. Seriously, one little animal can do that. So without animals such as bobcats and other predators, you're going to have that problem. So are some rats being sacrificed because for this to have for the greater good? Yes, they are. That's just the way it is. Sorry, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it unless you all got a better plan. There's nothing else you could do, right, Carole? I mean, how else are you going to teach a cat to catch rats?
One of the things that you pointed out there is the vermin control. And if people think back to when the Black Plague was wiping out huge numbers of people all around the planet.
The Black Plague.
A lot of people thought that it was because of witches and witchcraft, and they didn't realize that it was the rats that was spreading this virus.
Right.
And so when they were burning witches, they were killing the cats because they thought the cats were the muse of the witches. And so they were making the problem worse because they were killing the animals who could have kept the rats under control. If they just left the cats alone, this probably never would have been as bad of a plague as it turned out to be. And it's the same thing in the wild. If you take out the top level predators, like people kill the wolves and they kill the mountain lions and they kill the bobcats, if they kill those animals, then the rats take over and they start spreading disease.
Cats are worshipped in many cultures, such as Egypt. I mean, if it wasn't for the cats protecting the grains and stuff that they kept in silos during times of drought, if it was not for those cats, it could have brought the whole country down. Seriously. So that's how important the animals. That's how important what Carole is doing. Yes. Who knows? If she's not doing that, who knows? The whole ecosystem of Florida might be brought down.
We only do a couple bobcats a year, so I don't think we can be credited with saving the entire
But
state.
you never know. But she might be saving. But you actually never know. You could be, that cat that you're going to be releasing could actually catch the cat that would, the rat that just might have some sort of plague thing. Just happen to catch the right one. You never know. Don't discount that. All right. Now, let's see. Bella the tigress.
Yeah, we just had some sad news with Bella. Let me switch over to the screen share for her.
Oh, what?
Bella the tiger we rescued, I think, in 2007. And she was born, in 2007. She was born in 1996, so that makes her like 18 years old.
Right.
And that's her up on the screen. And she and 3 other tigers came from a place called Savage Kingdom, where they were primarily breeding them for white tigers because people will pay a lot of money for white tigers. The 4 tigers that we rescued from there were all golden tigers that were left behind when the man lost his license. And if you guys watch Animal Planet, they have a series called Fatal Attractions, and we are in a couple of those episodes. One of them is Tigers Unleashed, in which you'll see Bella and TJ, the 2 tigers that are still with us, and another one called Tiger Terror. And again, it's Bella and TJ in there. And the reason that they use these cats weren't the ones who killed anybody, but the cats who killed people ended up being shot. So these cats were kind of stand-ins for that, for the purpose of filming the show. They were literally bred to death, and there were 4 of them. There was Bella, TJ, Modnik, and Trusha. And Modnik and Trusha both died from cancer, from breast cancer. And now Bella, it looks like, is showing those same symptoms that we saw in Modnik. So now we have to make the decision, what are we going to do with an 18-year-old tiger who's facing cancer? Do we go through, like with her sister, what we did was we removed the cancerous masses and treated her, and it gave her another 6 months, but it wasn't a good 6 months. And I don't know with Bella if we want to put her through that. Probably what we'll end up doing is we'll sedate her in the next couple of days, draw blood, make sure it is cancer. We're treating it as an infection right now, but we really think that the underlying cause is going to be cancer. And if it is the case, do we just go ahead and put her out of her misery now rather than 6 months of having to go through surgery and healing and then not really get much more quality of life after that? So it's a horrible decision to have to make, and we're really sad to see her showing these signs now.
Well, that's called the downside of owning a sanctuary. Every business has a downside. I've noticed. And that certainly is one of them.
Yeah, it's a huge downside because.
Oh, I could just imagine because for one, like to see these animals in real life, they're majestic. I mean, they're not. You don't get the same feeling off of them as, it's pretty sad when your house cat has to pass away. But when a tiger has to pass away, it's like a king dying or something. It's really weird. Yeah, it's something like it's majestic about it, and that it's going. It's so death is so unworthy of it or something. It's weird.
And it's like I don't feel like I'm worthy to make that decision.
Yeah, right.
I'll make it based on what our veterinarians tell us they think is the best choice for her. But even for them, it's very hard because they love these cats and they feel the same way you and I do, that these cats are just magnificent. And it just feels like such a horrible thing to have to say, I think this animal should be euthanized.
Right.
It's really hard.
Well, if I were to be euthanized and somebody had to make a decision about it, I would certainly want Carole Baskin to be the one deciding that, actually. So, there isn't any better person to be deciding that than you, because I know that, especially for your cats, that you're going to give them that's like the last option pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you have to compare quality of life. I mean, life is life, but there's quality of life is actually more important than just life,
Yes, and that's the one thing we have to constantly remind ourselves is that there are some things that are worse than death.
Right. You know, and I know what it's like to be extremely, extremely ill. And most, you know, luckily mine was reversed, but yet cancer such as that, especially in an aged animal and stuff like that, is not reversible. I mean, you got to face the facts,
No.
you know. And if there is and forgive me for saying it, if there is another forest out there that you go to and after you pass, then, you know, a tiger is better off there. Which just got, I don't know. I don't even want to get into that. All right. Well, that's good. Well, we'll stay posted. Oh, so when is Bella having? Bella hasn't had the surgery yet or anything, right? So,
no, we just talked with the vet yesterday. She's already being treated for the infection, but we talked with the vet yesterday, and we'll schedule a day in the next to go in and sedate her, draw blood, actually get our hands on her to feel, you know, how many masses do we feel. Usually if there's a mass in one teat, it's in all of them. And so, you know, you'd end up having to just completely take everything out of her insides, which is just not something you want to do with a cat that old.
Right. So most likely that'll be it, unfortunately. Wow. Well, you know, I'm really sad that you have to go through that, and, you know, we'll all be with you, but you know, it's the cycle of life. We're all gonna die too. Let's face it. Okay.
Actually, I wish I had that option available to me, that I could say, okay, you know, things are going to get really bad here in the next few months, so just put me out of my misery now.
I know. There's got to be a country somewhere where you can choose to be euthanized. I mean, there's got to be.
Hopefully by the time we have to make that decision, there will be.
I know there's neighborhoods in this town that offer euthanization. One's called Homewood.
I'm not sure I want to die that way.
And they offer it for free too. Okay. She has an okay, so okay, now we also have a video for you. We actually have 2 videos for you. Actually 3, but 2. So,
while you guys are setting that up, if I could talk about this a little bit, what this is cats like Modnick and Trusha and Bella and TJ never would have ended up being bred to death or used in these types of situations if we had a law against people having these animals in their backyard. There's currently a bill pending that would make it illegal for people to breed and buy and sell tigers and lions and other big cats, and that's H.R. 1998. We'll be pushing really hard to get this legislation passed this session. And to do that, we thought maybe instead of doing like one big video that talks about all of the issues, what if we just did short 1 to 2 minute videos so that people really could get a quick idea of what it is that we're asking them to do and then have them do it. There was a great video done about human trafficking that we saw, and we thought this would be a great example of why this is so bad with these cubs. So that's this video that you'll see right here. It's a very short video, but I think it's pretty powerful, especially in the end, which you won't be able to show. But at the end of the video, it gives you 2 options. It says help out now, where they click on a link and they can send a letter to their lawmaker. And then the other option is to just ignore it and act like, you know, you don't care about this. And so what that option does is it brings up a web page that tells you more.
Oh, okay. Well, so what's the name of that first video?
It's Tiger Cubs Go to something. It's this one that's up on the screen here that says, please help me.
Okay, and we have that video here. And are you ready, Brian? All right, so let's go ahead and show it. Yeah, go ahead and play it, Brian. No, not that, Brian, or Carole. It's one of the videos I just showed you, Brian. No, what's the name of it, Carole? Not the golf cart.
It's not the golf cart one. It says Tiger Cubs Go to something, and then it stops here.
Okay, there we go.
Tiger Cubs to go. I'm sorry, Tiger Cubs to go.
Okay, Brian, can you go ahead and come back to me there? Because there's this blackness on the screen. All right, for some reason that didn't...
play it here.
Yeah, go ahead and play it there. Or Carole's
and
going
I'll
to
make
play
it full screen.
Hey, Carole, that's just not, it's not showing. Carole Baskin? All right, just hang in there, folks. She must not be able to hear me. Go ahead and switch back to me there so then people aren't looking at just that. So, as we wait. Hey, Carole Baskin.
Yes.
Oh, I don't think, for some reason it didn't, like, come through. I don't know if you're probably able to see it, but it did not come through over the Google Hangouts or whatever it's called. Google Hangout.
Really? You didn't see it in my window?
No, believe it or not.
How weird.
That's odd. All right, but we do got the other. So if y'all want to check it out,
what if I play it in the screen without going to full screen?
Yeah, try that. See what happens. Not you, Brian. She will. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Act
So
now.
then it goes to a page that tells them more about it, or they can go and be the voice for the cat by going to this one where they actually send the letter to their lawmaker by taking action.
Well, that's great, actually. Okay, now the other video, which we'll show shortly, we actually have that one, so we can show you that a little bit better. Okay, now actually that's next on our list. Something, if you want to set that video up, but we'll go ahead and play it when you're ready. And if you could tell us what
I'm
it is.
ready.
Oh, you're ready?
Sure.
Okay, this is a cat doing something to a bobcat, to a golf cart. If you can go ahead and play that video, Brian. That was too cute. Oh my goodness. That was great, Carole.
Thank you. It was actually some enrichment that was made by our summer campers. And we chose the name Tiger Destroys Golf Cart because right now there's all these people watching golf right now, and of course Tiger Woods is very popular. And so the idea that the viral opportunities for this with somebody thinking they're going to see Tiger Woods destroying a golf cart, it's TJ the Tiger destroying a cardboard golf cart.
That's how you do viral videos, or that's how you name a viral video. I can see that going viral. Did you see those kids like watching in amazement? Hey, I'm telling you, that video don't do justice what that's like in real life. Those animals are as big as cars. You've seen like all of those kids lined up, and the tiger's actually so long it fits in front of all of them. I'm telling you, those tigers are as long as this. It's amazing how big those animals are. And when you do watch them, when you're like that close to them, you can't help but to be like all mesmerized. I don't know how Carole does it.
Their tail is 12 feet.
I know. I'm sure you're mesmerized every day. I mean, it's like something you don't fall out of. When I was over there in Oklahoma, I would see tigers every day, and every day, each and every day, it was still as little bug. It was still as majestic and mesmerizing every single day. I'm telling you, they're kings. Okay, well, that was really cute. And, I love to see enrichment for animals. Now, when's the next Hamburger Mary's
That is
fundraiser?
Tuesday at 7:30 p.m.
That's
in Central Ybor.
this Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's right around the corner. So this Tuesday at Hamburger Mary's in Central Ybor, which is in Florida, which is a great place. And what time?
7:30 p.m.
7:30. And till what?
Till they get through playing 10 rounds of bingo. That ended up being about 9:30, I think, last time we did this. We did it on July 1st, and we had so many people show up that we ended up actually having to turn people away. So we want to be sure that people reserve so that they don't get turned away by calling 813-241-MARY and let them know that you're coming and how many people will be in your party so that you don't end up driving all the way down to Ybor and then not be able to get in.
Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to show you just a minute or two of a clip from the last Hamburger Mary's fundraiser. And while we're doing that, we'll go ahead and get that number up on the screen, which is 813-241-MARY. Mary? Yeah, Mary. 241-MARY. So that's 813-241-MARY. And let's go ahead and show that video, just a minute or two of it. The Hamburger Mary's. That place is great.
Time for Big Cat Rescue. Yes, baby. B10. Bingo. Noise, please. We're really glad that each and every one of you are with us this evening. How many people is drinking liquor? Oh, 62. Awesome, my dear. Right there is your prize package. Courtesy of Big Cat Rescue. We love you. Thank you. Baby. How's that? Good bingo, baby. Good bingo. Crumple up your playing cards, my dear. Take your victory lap, please. Belter, belter. All the way down. Belter, belter, all the way down, all the way back. Belter, 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 belter. Belter. Awesome, my dear. Right there is your prize.
It just makes you want to imitate her, doesn't it? Yeah, it was actually pretty clever. I mean, all those people who lost, now they're frustrated because they lost. So she's like, crumple up your cards and throw them at the winner.
And they make the winner run all the way around. Hey, that's good. The public loves to interact, with the show. That's it's like I don't know, I call it a 3D show because like you interact with it. Like when I was there, how they do it is they have a show kind of, and I don't know how the bingo thing goes. But when I was there, like drag queens go out into the audience, they really get the audience involved. Is it like that? Do they perform at bingo as well? Like, do they have a number and all that?
Do they have a number for what?
Like, do they do a performance number?
Oh, no, it's just bingo that night.
Oh, okay, because drag queens love to do numbers. When I say number, that usually what that means is they lip sync a song and like dance to it. It's very entertaining. Well, okay. Is there some more pictures you want to show us there?
Yes, I've got a picture up on my screen right now of King Tut. He's a Savannah cat hybrid. And the way he came here is people will sometimes pay as much as this. And they are told by the breeders that it's going to be this very exotic looking cat who's going to eat cat food and use a litter box. And what they usually get is a pretty ordinary cat like this that sprays all over the house, sprays bucket loads of urine all over everything, and wants to eat raw meat and chase your children. And so when they get to be adults, the people toss them out, and then it's like strapping a nuclear warhead to the feral cat problem, because now you've got these really gigantic cats that are breeding with the feral cat population and making them even crazier and more dangerous than they already are.
And probably killing some of them in the process.
Yes. As you know, because you've been here before, often the kittens of a hybrid are bigger than either parent. And so the mother sometimes can't deliver them at all, or will have to have a C-section in order to deliver them. But the reason I have King Tut's picture up here, he's been rescued, I don't know, 6-7 months ago probably by now. But there was a really big nighttime news story that just came out here and spent all day filming the whole problem with people getting hybrid cats. And so once that is being announced, we'll be able to let your viewers know when they can watch this program. They had seen a program where it was being glamorized about these people, you know, buying these expensive cats, and they said, you know, we think there's probably another side of that story. So I was really glad that they did their research and came to us to find out what the other side of that story is.
Right.
Next up here on the screen is just another cat that was in that video that we did with them, or that documentary that we did with them, and that's Kalahari. She's a serval, and that kind of gives you an idea of the cage. Like you were talking, they have the big area here where they can hide in the...
Yeah, that's a good example, actually, right there. It's very jungle-ish.
Where they've got plants and trees, and this is only like 1/2 of her cage.
Right.
This was a new toy I ordered online. You know how they have those infomercials about cat toys? And this has been the best toy ever. It's called the Cat's Meow. And they say on television you can buy it for like, I forget, $25 or something. But I found you can actually buy them locally in stores now, too, cheaper than that.
Oh, okay.
But the cats have an awful lot of fun with that.
What does it do? Vibrate in the middle or something?
Pardon?
What does it do exactly?
It's like a mouse running all around in a circle underneath that cape. Oh. And you know how cats love to chase things that are under a sheet?
Yeah.
So it's constantly moving, and it'll change directions, and sometimes it'll sit real still, and then it'll take off running again, which just drives the cat absolutely
nuts. That's brilliant. Wow. All right.
Runs on 2 batteries.
Okay.
Once a year, we do a letter to our donors. We have about, I think, close to 80,000 supporters out there across the world. And so we send out a letter to them, and we hand address it, hand stamp it, and this is our volunteers sitting in, because it was raining, and they were taking up every spot in the office, sitting on the floors and everything, working on trying to get these sent out to our donors.
It's so fun to work there. I'm telling you, it's like a camp or something. I'm serious. It's fun. When I was there, I loved every minute of it.
There was some good news in the world about protecting exotic animals, and Etsy just posted a ban on all wild animal products. This is something that eBay had done a while back, and Craigslist really needs to do, but we were proud of Etsy for banning any wild animal products like furs or those kinds of things.
Actually, my company is recently working on certifications.
And Animal Defenders International has been working to try and make sure that people don't try to slip in right underneath the deadline for the circus ban and bring cats in. So we were glad to hear that they were staying on top of that. We were contacted actually many, many years ago, back in the 90s. I actually went down to Costa Rica and worked with the Simon Bolivar Zoo, because it was this tiny little, typical, third world kind of zoo, little tiny pits that the animals were in. And they were buying land out in the countryside to try and build larger enclosures. So they had asked us to come and, give them some advice on how to cage these animals. But I just found out this past week that they are closing down that Simon Bolivar Zoo, which is wonderful news. They won't have any more tigers in tiny concrete pits or jaguars in these horrible cages that they had them in, and are actually even going to use the zoo as a rescue facility, which was pretty cool.
Wow.
Also, Shark Week is coming in 11 days, 7 hours, 26 minutes, and 34 seconds to Animal Planet, or to Discovery Channel, rather. And Discovery Channel has given us the rights to use their logo in the promos that we'll be doing. And if you like the enrichment that you saw earlier with the golf cart, you are going to love what we're going to do with Shark Week. It's going to be so much fun. and we'll be posting that very shortly because we've only got 11 days to get it up there.
I bet you I can guess.
And then this last thing that I wanted to talk about is really, really sad. Can you see this leopard on the screen?
Yes. What's wrong with
This
it?
cat, she lives in a facility that used to breed and deal in exotic cats, and they lost their license, I think, back in 2006, their USDA license. And because the state that they live in doesn't do anything to enforce any kind of animal protection when it comes to wildlife, this cat has kind of fallen through the cracks. And most of the information that I have about her is secondhand, so I can't say for sure that everything that has been reported to me is true. But what has been reported was that this woman, when she lost her license, couldn't afford to feed the cats anymore, and so was letting people, she was letting her county use her like the county animal shelter. The county couldn't afford to have their own animal shelter, and so people would bring their dogs and cats and drop them off with her, thinking that she was going to try and find new homes for them, like you would expect of an animal shelter. But what these people told us was that she was actually feeding the cats and dogs to the wild cats there. And when she tried to feed a Doberman to this leopard, the Doberman fought for his life and ended up losing, but the leopard ended up being badly injured. The woman has said to the officials that we have asked to go out and check into this, that this has been this way for over a year. We're also told that her attending veterinarian is actually not licensed to practice medicine in her state, and it's her boyfriend. And so he's telling the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and USDA excuse me, that there's nothing wrong with this and that the cat isn't in any pain. But when I look at that, I just can't believe that this cat is not in any pain. And both of them say that the cat constantly licks at it. Well, if the cat's constantly licking at this woman, that tells me that it's irritated, and that's why the cat is trying to soothe it by licking it. So we've contacted USDA, we filed a complaint there, we filed a complaint with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, we've contacted the sheriff of this town, we've contacted the state, and nobody has been willing to do anything for this cat. And so now we feel like the only thing we can do is take it to the media, take it to the public, and see what the public says about that.
So what do we do now?
I had been on the CNN headline news with Jane Velez Mitchell back in 2010 about Tony the Tiger at the truck stop in Louisiana. So I contacted her and said, you know, this is the kind of thing that I think you could really make a difference with, and gave her the whole backstory. And then this other big news company that was just here about the Savannah cats, I sent it to them as well. People who took these pictures, and there were actually 3 pictures in a movie, I just didn't have time to put them all up here. The people who were there were sent in when the county revoked her license to be the animal shelter. Then a bunch of dogs and cats. But when they saw this leopard, they felt like, you know, we can't just turn our back on these exotic cats and have them living in these kind of conditions. So that was when they contacted me, and this picture was taken on June the 10th. So I've been trying since June the 10th to get the government to do their job, but if they're not willing to do their job, then I think we need to be contacting the media and really raising a fuss over this.
Have you called down there to the people who own that, who have that cat?
I know that lady, and I thought she was crazy back in the 90s when I saw her last. In fact, when I was there, this was back when my late husband was around, we went there to, you know, what kind of facility she had in the 90s. And every time one of her volunteers would come running into the room, the first thing she would say is, "What's dead now?" And that told me she was having a huge problem back in the 90s keeping animals alive. And yet here she is all these years later, having lost her license, and still has all of these animals living in what appears to be horrid conditions.
Can you tell us her name or the place?
I can't yet. I hope to very shortly, but I don't want to tip her off, as you know, because we know the bad guys are watching us. So unless somebody actually knows that leopard personally, they probably won't be able to get the message to her.
Honey, I could tell you she's already got the message. Well, no, we're not live right now because we're as soon as this goes live, she will know within, while you're saying it, she will find out. I can guarantee you that, Carole.
Well, she knows that we had called the authorities on her, and the authorities actually went there and tried to get video themselves, and she was the one that convinced them that this cat was perfectly fine. So she knows that we're on to her. She just doesn't know that we're trying to get the media out there.
Well, hey, I get millions of viewers a month. I'll be glad to make a little thing that says save this animal. Call here. I'll be glad to put it on all of my networks. I have no problem with that. Free of charge. I would love to do it. It's my duty. So, I'm the media. So any way I can help, you just give me the word and I'm on it.
As soon as I have a good target, as far as like where we want those calls or those emails to go, and I will do that. But right now I'm trying to figure out what the best plan of attack would be by getting the media involved. Once we know that they're going to be willing to push this, then to try and figure out, okay, who is it that could really go in there and do something about it?
I would do a media blitz. I'm serious. I would actually test how good I do. I'd even have all my shows, like when they do their commercials in the middle, I'd be like, oh yeah, and by the way, call this, get this. I'm serious. They want to see media blitz. Let me blitz. All right. So we're waiting for the word, Carole. Baskin, Carole.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, me and animals. I do this show and started watching animal television, all that because I love the animals so a tremendous amount. All right. Okay. Anything else?
And actually, Robert just posted a question here. He said, would a vet at a zoo take care of the cat? And I don't know, because this woman is saying that she's refusing to have the paw or the arm. I can't tell if it's the entire arm or if it's just that's involved. But she's saying that she loves this cat more than any of her other cats, and she's not willing to sedate the cat because the cat is 19 years old. And I can understand that being a huge concern. I mean, we have that same concern with our 18-year-old tiger. Do we really want to put her through surgery? But just letting the cat suffer for over a year is not an option either. So
she doesn't love her. Oh my gosh. She doesn't love that cat. She loves the idea of owning the cat. There's a difference. You love your cats. Jimmy, you're not in love with the idea of owning them.
Right.
That's the difference, because if you love your cats, you would never feed it a Doberman.
Really?
Or especially a Doberman. You wouldn't feed it anything like that to begin with. But to feed it an animal that could actually hurt it too just shows, you just like having the cat. You like owning it. You like saying that you own one of those things. That's all.
And that's so typical of people in this industry.
When
the news crew was here about the Savannah cats, they said, why would anybody want to own this? And it's because people want to own the biggest, baddest animal.
They get that. I know people who are very much, as you do too, are very much into owning exotic animals, and they totally get that love confused. They don't, seriously, they think that their love of owning it is the love for it, and it's not. It's not. There's a big difference, and the sooner you all wise up to that, the better. Amazing.
Well, I think we've run about an hour now.
Yes. An hour of animal ranting. But I love it, and that's what we do here.
Nice having you, Robert. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, Robert. Too bad I didn't get to see you, really. And did another person join us there, too?
Yeah, they're waving.
Oh, who is that other person? You know what? If you click on them, Brian, you can actually make them go on screen, too. See them down there? If you click on their image, go ahead and click on them. Let's see who they are. That is... Don't do anything vulgar. All right. That looks like two young ladies, somebody hiding her face. She must be a movie star. And well, thank you for joining us. I don't know what you're saying because I'm sitting in the studio part. Although you guys probably see me.
Sign language.
Yeah, and that's Carole Baskin, and then that's Robert there. Go ahead and click on Robert there. Oh, look at her hiding her mouth. And that's Robert there, smiling away. But he couldn't get his microphone working. And you all probably see me. If you see me, you're seeing like kind of a studio view.
It looks like her name was Leora Hafton.
Oh. So you guys aren't seeing what our final product looks like. Our final product, I have a fabulous background and all that. But the camera you're seeing there on Google Hangouts is actually just from, you're looking from the control room into our green screen room. But Okay, well, I guess that's it then, right, Carole, for today? Oh. No sound. Did my sound go out? Are you getting a reading? Do you see do you see the meter moving over for me? Yeah. Okay, so I think Carole is saying that she has no sound. Is that what you're saying, Carole? Can you hear me, Carole? Just nod yes or no. Yeah, I hear you, Carole. I hear you moving. Huh. Testing 1 2. Just double check. All right. Well, anyways, we're about to go anyways. All right. So we're just gonna say goodbye. So go ahead and wave, Carole, if you can see me. All right. And thank you everybody for joining us here for another Cat Chat. It's so great having you. Cat Chat airs now at its new time, which is every Thursday. No, we'll say like Thursday around 11 a.m. is when Cat Chat now airs. Yeah, Cat Chat. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later on Cat Chat. And thanks, Robert, and I'll call you later, or call me or something. Love you guys. Bye. Take care of your animals.